All right. So I am going to be answering interview questions in my mock interview for my final reflection task in this class. My first question I'm going to be addressing is prompt one. In which way is your writing instruction informed by the Colorado Framework for K through 12 writing? So my writing instruction is informed by both the Colorado Framework for K through 12 writing and Sedita's writing route model in the following ways. The first is that with the Colorado Reading and Writing and Communicating, or RWC framework, it emphasizes the importance of aligning instructional practices with shared beliefs about writing. So, this includes identifying a desired state or outcome for writing instruction and implementing actionable steps to achieve this vision. This process was a collaborative one that includes literacy coaches and curriculum coaches, educators, policymakers, and administrators to examine current practices, set clear goals, and select evidence based strategies to um, improve writing instruction across the school or district. It essentially highlights the importance of integrating reading, writing, and communicating all as a triple threat, recognizing that these skills reinforce one another and creates a framework in which to address them. Now, to operationalize that framework, I would use Joan Sedita's writing rope model, which essentially breaks the writing down into 5 interwoven strands. First being critical thinking, next syntax, following with text structure, writing craft, and transcription. This model allows for me to plan explicit instruction that addresses each one of those components of writing in a systematic way. For example, I could teach students how to generate and organize ideas, that would be critical thinking, construct grammatically correct sentences, that would be syntax, understand and apply different text structures, that would be hence text structure, refine their writing style and voice, which would be writing craft, and develop fluency in handwriting, spelling, and typing, which would be transcription. So ultimately, I think of the Colorado framework or the K through 12 framework, the writing, reading, and communicating standards as essentially the roadmap, and Sedita's writing rope as the car in which to navigate the said roads. By utilizing both, I ensure that my writing instruction is both strategic and comprehensive. The integrated approach supports students in developing the skills they need to write effectively across various contexts and disciplines. Now, to address prompt 2, which is we know there are children in the general education class with special needs that can impact the writing process. How will you infuse instructional supports in your general education course that ensure children receive effective differentiation? This one rings very much true to me. As a divergent learner myself, I not only personally understand the need to differentiate and support all learners in the classroom, but also recognize the uniqueness and joy in doing so. So, one of the best ways to support divergent learners is to accommodate the differences in thinking, which would be accommodating executive function. So, this requires intentional differentiation and scaffolding, especially in writing, when planning, organizing, self monitoring are very critical in that process, all of which are key pieces involved in not only executive function, but writing itself. So, how do we do that? First, I would explicitly teach the writing process. This can be a very cognitively demanding task for divergent learners. And I would essentially break the writing process into manageable steps, such as brainstorming, outlining, drafting, revising, and editing, and modeling each of those tasks while also visually representing them through visual aids like anchor charts, graphic organizers, and checklist. This would help manage tasks for students that require sequencing, planning, and sustained attention. Next, I would use visual and organizational supports. So these sort of piggyback off of the last idea, but these would aid specifically in working memory and organization. I would provide tools such as checklists, self evaluation rubrics, color coded folders, and visual schedules for this one. Um, And this would be essential in making sure that it guides through the various components of the writing process for that student, and it ensures that they don't overlook key components and elements in their writing. Next, I would be incorporating flexible timing and breaks. We know kids have wiggles that they need to get out, and not every student needs the same break as everyone else. So, flexibility is key in this process. I would offer flexible deadlines and incorporate short breaks during writing tasks. This would hopefully maintain focus and reduce anxiety, which can be all too common in divergent learners attempting to meet these writing tasks, which would allow students to work at a pace that suits their needs. Next, I would foster a supportive writing environment. How I would do that is by creating a classroom culture that encourages risk taking and values the writing process over the final product. So I would do that through um, mainly evaluating through formative assessments, having a project based final assignment that we scaffold up to through plenty of non graded formal assessment feedback, formative assessment feedback. And I would also encourage peer collaboration and allow students to learn from each other throughout that process and to develop their ideas collaboratively. Lastly, I would integrate executive function skill development. So I would embed activities that focus around goal setting. This can extend it we can flex into writing instruction and then extend outward to other academic tasks. For example, the goal setting exercise such as SMART goals that are specific, manageable, and attainable, timely, and reliable. Um, it would help plan their writing tasks. It would help to increase self monitoring and evaluating their work. So, overall, enhancing metacognition and self reliability. And these practices not only improve writing outcomes, but enhance, like I said, overall executive functioning. So, ultimately, by using all of these strategies, all students can become more confident and competent writers in my classroom and hopefully do so with joy in mind.